Alright, so I have here today an unscripted video of just me going through the map editor. It's not an in-depth guide or anything, nothing too special, just basic run through. So first off, if you want to access the map editor, you're going to need Silver VIP, and that'll give you access to the map editor and sandbox. If you have AirMech Prime, then you could be publishing the custom maps and then play on them in custom games. Alright, so how you're gonna access the map editor, you're gonna have to load up a solo game. You could use the training, you're gonna use the training tab and just enter a game. Then just hit skip all this and then hit escape. You should see the option to go to sandbox mode or the map editor. Click the map editor and you'll go to the map editor, obviously. And so now we're here. I'm going to go through everything, all the UI bits, left to right, top to bottom, that kind of sort of direction. First, here is the file tab. You're going to use this to create a new blank map. It makes if you only useful if you loaded up a map. When you're loading up a solo game, it'll give you that map, and if you want to just work on a clean map. And then you got the save button. It doesn't work unless you use save as first. I'm gonna give this some random name, 00, lots of numbers, test, save as. It'll take a little bit of time to save. Alright. Now you can go to load it up. Load works as you expected. Save will work once you've done a save as. Like I just copy that for it there, and hopefully it saves pretty in a short amount of time. Alright. And then it should reload the new saves changed. Alright, recover last. This works kind of on and off. It's supposed to be something used after, like, if the game crashes or you lose internet connection. There's a chance. It's not always guaranteed that you could recover the last map you're working on with at least some changes, at least before, like, you lost connection or the game crashed, something like that. Test map. This button will just enter you into PvP with bots, with like the number of players listed here. You could do a 1v1, 1v2, 2v2, 2v3, 3v3 against bots with you obviously on the first team. Boom, this looks like this. Starts up like any other normal game. I'm gonna go back into the map editor now. The exit button will just exit the map editor and just bring you back out onto the lobby screen. Right, and then we're gonna go back into the map editor. Just load up another solo game, then click the button. I'm gonna do, I'll stay on Veil. Alright, the next button is this edit button. I'm not really too sure what it does. I don't use it at all. Alright, looks like this, the next button, select all X plus of intersect will. Looks like it'll select half of the tiles on the map. Alright, this should do the opposite. I think this will go the other direction. Oh boy. Alright, I'm not too sure what those do. Select all, kind of obvious. Probably the only one in the edit tab you'll know what it does, since it's like in every other computer program. If you would just reset your camera, like if you move it around, if you like change the angle, boom, but it won't reset the zoom. I think I'll go over some keybinds very quickly. I'll give a link to a thread with them, since you're not gonna be able to remember them from me talking about them. Arrow key, just the left and right, up and down arrow keys will just move everything up move everything by like 1 unit. And if you hold control and then do it, it'll move it up a little further. Shift G, toggle grid snap. Let's see what it does. I never use this. Some of these keybinds, hotkeys, I never use it myself. What's this do? No idea. No idea. Nope, I got no idea what it does. Comma rotates, this is one of my favorite keys. Comma and period, these will turn an object 90 degrees. They're really easy to just rotate an object. You see, I'm just rotating this bunch of trees here. Delete was gonna do, obviously, delete the object you currently selected. Also works on tiles. Like these selection things, they should all work on. Nope. Can't spin the tile. Can you spin these? Yeah, you can spin these. You won't see it on a completely flat tile that you're rotating it. Like these hotkeys should also be working on tiles as long as the objects. So delete that tile. Yeah. Shift plus click drag. That's what you've been seeing me do already. That's cloning objects. You could clone tiles. We could clone objects. Clone the fort, even the fort pads. Alright. There's a couple of hotkeys for these up here. I don't think this is ever used for anything, this pointing arrow, because it's just basically the same as this, which the hotkey to it is W, and which will just let you switches to moving stuff around. If you hit E or just click on this, it'll change to rotating. You got like full range of motion. Oh, and also if you it's changes of Alt, like if you hold Alt down, instead of like moving it like up and down, left and right, it'll change the height of the object. But if you have the rotate, it'll start rotating it on an angle. So make sure you remember, if you want to like change the height of something or like the angle it's on, just hold Alt while you have the move or the rotate object option selected. Next one is R, that's to resize whatever object you selected. Just very easy. Drag it towards the center of the object to make it bigger and smaller. To make it smaller, you drag it away. And the next one is the box select. This one's got a keybind in not next to the others because it used to work differently, but it's still the same. It's just a box select, nothing special. You're gonna need to switch to one of the other options if you wanna do anything with the selected stuff. Like, I guess resize doesn't work with a ton of objects. You could rotate everything and it'll all be anchored onto the middle of all the objects you selected. Move will just move everything. You could also copy the entire group or delete it all. Boom, deleted. This is the map name. Right here is undo and redo buttons. Looks like they have hotkeys, which is kind of cool. Yep. Control Z, Control Shift Z. They do what undo and redo buttons, as you expect. This button, click to combine geo. I have no idea what it does. It doesn't appear to do anything on my side. Alright, this is the nav, to click to see the Nav Mesh. This is what all the units will be like. There's different multiple layers, but this generally it's like going to be how this is where all the units can move. Wherever there's color of this, like orange tan color, is where units can be placed, where they can move around in. Like for ground units, they're not going to be moving inside an outpost. Turrets you could place on the pads because of this tan is over them. And this one's the first one that when you first click it, it's just general units, like all ground, like vehicles and turrets, they all use this nav mesh. The next one is infantry, and now you could see units are allowed to go inside the outposts, but this is only used for infantry. So like soldiers, soldiers and any other infantry are the only ones who are going to be able to go inside outposts. And this is the nav mesh for flying units or air units. It's not entirely perfect. You might need to mess with some settings, which I'll briefly talk about in these tabs, to kind of make it completely whole, because there's gaps here and kind of doesn't make sense for like a flying thing to be unable to like here, like this weird triangle-ish shape means like an air unit cannot be placed here, cannot fly over this area. It's kind of really stupid. It doesn't make any sense, but that's just how like the nav mesh kind of generates and is in the game. The next one is one you'll probably never ever find use on Strike. This is for like big walker type enemies that you'll see on Wastelands. You'll never see them here on Strike, so you don't have to care about this. And then this button here will just like regenerate the nav mesh. Like I cleared all the trees here earlier, and we're going to see the effect of it. It might take a couple seconds to load it up. Maybe more than a couple seconds. Hopefully it doesn't crash. It usually doesn't crash. Just note, the more objects you have, like Vale has tons of trees, the more you have, it's going to be longer to regenerate this nav mesh or even save a map. But now it's done regenerating the nav mesh here, and now you see like ground units can now travel where the trees used to be. Nice and super clear. This next button here is some kind of layers thing. I've no idea how to use it. I know devs can use it. They've used it before. Like, I can tinker with it a bit, but I have no idea how to use it. It's been in here for a while, so should have no idea. And here are some couple communications button. This just pops up your friends list. This pops up your mailbox. Nothing special. It's just like the exact one from the lobby, the normal UI. Alright. These two tabs are gonna be here in Sandbox, so if you're familiar with them, good for you. If not, we're just gonna go over them quickly. Here it's just drag and drop out any units that you see here. I'm just gonna pop out over a couple of random ones. Actually, in Sandbox, you won't have like most of this. You only have like the units. You can change the team of the units that you drop on. As you can see, there's the neutral, team 1 and team 2. Just note the player ID. All even ID numbers will be on the first team, and all odd number IDs will be on the second team, while neutral will be neutral. So like player number 2 will be on the blue team, and player number 3 will be on the red team. So every even number here will be a player on team 1, while every odd number will be a player on team 2. I'm gonna briefly go over this because this is links directly back into units and objects like trees, outposts, pads, even tiles. They all use this tab for to generally do similar things. Here, position, it's all XYZ location based, so 0, 0, 0, 0 is right in the middle of the map. Change the Z, change the height. You can even go negative and it'll drop it lower. And also to note, you always have to hit enter every time you enter new values in. See, look, I didn't hit enter there, it's not moving. Now I hit enter there, it snaps itself to where I want it to be. Rotation is exactly what it is. It'll rotate it. You could rotate it around like 360 along or like whatever you call it, circularly, like normal, without an angle. You can put it on an angle, make it easier to see that angle. Yeah, it's under it now. Yeah, there we go. A little bit easier to see. See its angle like on its side. You gotta give it negatives. Do the same. This one to make it angled onto the by the front. Negative again. It'll go angle it towards the back. This is rotation is all in 360 degrees. So even if you put like a million numbers in here, it's just gonna find like a number divisible by 360, which that huge number I put in was about 81. Label you won't be using unless you're going into like scripts, map scripts, but I'm not even gonna go touch that in this video. You could just give it a random name. I'm gonna give this jackal a label jackal. Render scale is basically the visual size of the unit or object. You can make anything big. Alright, this isn't exactly an object. I'll explain it later in a bit. Here's a tree. Make it tiny. Tiny tree. Alright, this is kind of like where all the objects start to differentiate units to units, props, and there's this thing called a prefab in game. They all start kind of changing after around rotation. They start getting their own unique options. Like now for like units, you're now able to units alone have this team ID and all these other random settings. Team IDs is what it is. Like back in this tab, like this here, it'll use the same team for this. For like that number that I pointed at right now, that's what number goes in here. This is the actual like team, like whether team 1, or actually it's team 0, but it's the first team, and then team 1 or the second team. You can watch that, and this, I don't think this will change the color. Yeah, it doesn't change the color, but it'll still like determine what unit, what is an enemy, what is an ally for that unit. Health multiplier is exactly what it is. It just multiplies the unit's health. Damage mod is same concept. Alright, back to props and objects. Very few objects will actually have a team ID. Like this is just for use of socketables. Like what color? Because you could just change the color here. Alright, that was bad. No, it's not changing color. That's fun. Oh well. Hope I'm not too sure on this. What has changed in the map editor a lot. Alright, this is I'm gonna go open the actual prefabs tab. This is where all the special building, all the actual buildings are. Like you got all the outposts. You got like the fort. Here's a fort. And here's an outpost. There's a ton of different types here. If it doesn't say all the forts, if you're gonna make a map, always use space fighter. Don't use space fighter survival. I don't trust it. It's meant for like the on wastelands, and unless you're gonna make a map for wastelands or that style of gameplay, don't use it. Then for these outpost types, there's a lot of types, but I'll always do like the V2. The ones without it are like a bit old. They don't exactly work well. Like you can't really neutralize this outpost and retake it. I've tried it myself, but I can't do it. Can't seem to do it. Just use these outposts to be safe. Anything with V2. Here's a factory. Here's a power station. Here's these other types, but I say don't use them. Just stick to the basic ones that are everywhere on all the official maps that are safe to use. Cause let's see, because there's one of them that's invisible and it's super frustrating. Uh, lab. Yeah, yeah. Like some of these are invisible. These are gonna trip you up. Like I gotta have to do box select to find it, or it's not even there. Oh well, too bad. I'll talk about the dangers of like invisible props and prefabs in a bit. Here you could do all your rotating and stuff. Just even change the team ID. You could actually see it this time, changing colors. 6 is neutral. -1 doesn't work, even though it's like showing as the default on this. I can't seem to get it to be like that. Even if I save the map and keep it as -1, it'll just like switch to 0 there, but it stays -1 here. So if you're making your own custom map, you're gonna have to use team ID 6. The only thing that'll happen is just fill up this blue energy. It's not gonna really affect much though. It's still neutral, and you could change the infantry inside it, inside all the outposts, to whatever you have, to whatever you can see. I'm just changing all the default soldiers. And even, yep, here we go. Nothing too special. Just quick so you know, you can't edit any of these settings in here. It'll all just reset once you save and reload the map. Like you can't change the damage or health modifier or even change the render size. It won't do nothing when you save and reload. Alright, we're gonna go into the props now. This is all the objects that I've been touching, like the trees, the bridge. This is like all that kind of stuff. Here's a striker. Here's some of the stuff on salt, if you recognize the props. They've even got like some of the names. Simple is like an older name of dust. Here's some. I'm gonna just bring out a lot of different props here. All right, here's one of the things you have to be aware of. Like an invisible prop here. Like here, this is a normal plane. This is a normal Tomcat striker. Boom, you can see it super clear. Here's a Tomcat striker destroyed. You can't see it. I place it down, creates a fire. It's there, it exists, but you cannot see it. It's gonna be like mostly of no use to you. So if you want to get rid of it, you're gonna have to search for it using box select and just delete it. I deleted with the other stuff, so that's gonna be a lot of trouble to deal with too. Try to get rid of invisible props or objects, which are super annoying to deal with. Alright, there are a couple different types of props in here. I'm gonna bring a bridge over here. Alright, certain props are destructible in game. Like you could run over with your mech, shoot at it, and it'll eventually be destroyed. You could tell it by, you'll know if a prop is destructible if it doesn't have a no collision request box to fill out. That would mean that you could destroy this object in game by like walking into it or shooting it. Here's like a normal prop. It'll have a no collision request. Normally, I need to clear all the trees here first to make it save this faster to show it. Just using the box select here. We're gonna compare. So you could set it to true to have a no collision. This one will have normal collision. This one will have no collision. We're gonna watch this. Whatever you fill in that box, or like whatever its collision status is, it'll determine if like the nav mesh can be generated where that prop is. Come on, yep. See, this building will block the nav mesh. Units cannot go near it. And then this one with the no collision request on, set to true. Units can move through it, but also like your mech 2 can also walk through this. It can't jump on top of it. This one you would be able to land or jump on top of it because you can collide with it, but without no collision you just walk through it. It's just like there for looks. Then here's one. This is somewhat different. It's a type that I would say uses is different from like this. This is a prop where like Nav Mesh can be generated on top of it. You'll mostly only see them on this type of prop will be only be on like buildings with a flat top, or obviously bridges. You're gonna need bridges to go across like gaps like this. I'll talk about that in a sec. See, the Nav Mesh generates on top of it. Just a little. You can see the outlet. You can see the outline. You'll notice that the Nav Mesh generated. It also generates a Nav Mesh under it. So maybe you could use that to your advantage of making your own map, like have like multiple levels or something. I don't know. I think that does props enough for now. There's like some other random messes in there, but normally they should belong in the other tabs. Like go into force volume. I have no idea how to use these. I've never used these myself. Oh boy, let me select it. I theorize this is just like something that you can't like move into. Units can't move into. I don't know. I don't use it at all. Game locations, you only get one option right now. It's this circle thing. This is only useful if you're into scripting, but if you're not, you don't need to use this or care about it. Combos. This is kind of like combining props, but all this list here is all the card beneficial. You cannot add to it, you cannot delete from it. And we'll see, just drag it out. Oh god, no, this is gonna super laggy. Alright, this is just a bundle of trees that a dev made and saved. This is one of the iron hand things seen on Wastelands. There's a couple limitations to like this, like combos. Once you make the ones that you steal from the devs, you can't use rotation. Oh look, you can use rotation. I'm stupid. Oh wow, hilarious. What could you not use? There's this one thing oh well. You can use it. Let me try something. Hilarious. It does work. Yeah, it works. Alright, so you could control them all like normal props. You could like spin it around. It's like more of that, copy it too. Looks like they'll act just like normal props, except they're combined. Maybe it's the ones you make that have the limits. Let's try it. I'm gonna connect this tree and this building here and then give it a name. You won't ever see this name on this list, but if you search for it on your actual hard drive, you'll find like a file with the name of it. So add combo. Boom, now these two props are connected. You move them around. They've also got the name of whatever you gave it. Copy it, spin it around, and maybe this is the one you can't. Oh yeah, never mind. But yeah, now they're connected. I think the only way to get rid of the name, I mean, get rid of this combo. Let me try this. No, it didn't work. I do it a couple times, but I think, let me try some. Let's see, a no collision object with a combo. Nope, doesn't split the object, doesn't help it. I don't know. I'm not too good with like the super specifics of what combos can do. Use the wave cannon just for fun. This is the stuff you'll see on Wastelands. The thing. Our next one tab is power-ups. You will not see any here because they're in props for some reason. Uber. It's the Uber power-up that you get on, that you can build on Wastelands. You could put it on maps on Strike. You'll need a mech to pick it up or walk into it to gain the power-up. There's also Blaster Guardians. Alright. There we go, Blaster Guardians. They function similarly where you need a walk to pick it up. those are really the only two power-ups I could I think that are currently quote-unquote power-ups that are in the prop tab for some reason. Do I want to go over something else? Outpost pads, I'll just briefly touch it. They work like they're in the same category as the fort pads. You could set the teams, and if you place like starting turrets or infantry on a bunker, they automatically, when you save and load the map, it'll automatically be set onto either the pad or the bunker. That's kind of cool if you want to use that. Is that up at all for this tab? Yeah, and we just did this tab. This is the tab for the air nav mesh. This is for your mech, but it also influences the air unit nav mesh. I'll show that briefly with the air units. I'm gonna create a big stack of trees. 1, 2, this is the air. Please generate fast so I could show this off. Sorry for it being slow. Running on a potato. Oh, yep, and it does. And you can see you can't fly over it right now, but if you regenerate it, you'll see this change. Like, this hasn't changed the trees I deleted earlier, but boom, everything changed. It's now like, whoa, that was scary. I just thought I heard something. Oh well. Now you're gonna watch this change back. You're gonna you might be able to fly over it. I'm not sure how it's gonna regenerate. But you're gonna watch after I regenerated the AirMech Nav Mesh. It's gonna change the flying unit one. Boom. See, like it's still like trashy. That's just how it's very hard to like fix this yourself. You have to like mess with all the settings, all of these here, which is kind of frustrating when you want to like make a completely whole air nav mesh. So just make it so it's functioning. When you check the air nav mesh and you have a ton of like props of a lot of height, just check it and make sure it like looks okay. I'm gonna briefly go over these. Minimum X, minimum Y, max X, max Y. They just control like the shape that the square this generates in. Rotation will obviously rotate it to, it'll probably would have yeah, rotate would just rotate out. I'm trying to remember if it cuts it off weirdly or anything, but let's just see it. I'm gonna rotate it 45 degrees. I'm gonna generate it. It's gonna take a sec. Nope, it perfectly does it. So they could have used the air nav mesh on Veil. But no. Spacing will change, like the space between the green, I think. I don't know what the red ones mean, but I do know the green is what your AirMech will use. Height offset will just change the height, how high this is. I could set it. You'll see a huge jump when I set it to 5. Boom. Make it easier of 10. Yep, higher. You know, you're like flying super high up in the air now. You would be. Max kernel, or trying to remember what this does. I think this might be how smooth it is. Come on, generate. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea how to see that. See the change. Yeah, it looks like it's making it smoother. Let's see what blur kernel does. Well, blur kernel was yeah, it just makes this one makes it like, I think blur kernel is for like edges where if you change like elevation when flying, it'll make it smoother. The higher it is, it'll make it super smooth. Well, max kernel might like be a general like smoothness, but okay. Here's the tiles. Change the tile types. You probably want to change change the tile type before you switch the tile mode to generate mode, which can have a tendency to crash if you if you are nuking too much. I'll just show nuking off. Nuke visual tiles, boom, it's all black in this area. And it'll be whatever your camera sees, it'll get rid of. Nuke visual details will be like the props and will it be units? Nope. Looks like not all props, unless that's a different type. Nuke visual details again. Yeah, trees are there for some reason. Objects, there goes the trees and all the units. Gen map tiles will just like when you set the numbers, it'll be like I think it's the yeah, I think it's in units. I don't know how to explain it. Reset tile should fill it up to like whatever you set here, and now it's on last on the real type, so it's gonna set that. Okay. Alright, this symmetry thing is kind of limiting, but you could do like a 4-corner symmetry, or all 4 corners would be the same. Like, it would just cut it off. Like how I don't know which corner. Maybe it's all positive values that'll be like the corner it references to make all the other sides the same. This one is what do you call it? Asymmetrical. It's not a true mirror reflection. It's just like if your map is uneven. I'll show it off on like where's an easy map to do this on. Dust, everyone's. We're gonna do this very quick. We're gonna make this asymmetrical. Watch that. Look at that. Instantly changes. It's instant. So if you looks like it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. You don't get the undo button. That's kind of bad. Kind of dangerous if you accidentally click it, and then you ruin like if your map isn't like designed like this, where like both sides from the perspective are the same. This perspective, like in this view, was made to be the same as this view. Like you may not want that, because we're going to go into Twin Peaks, because this is a good example. When you do the asymmetric thing, like this is a symmetric to like with this straight line, whatever. It is a reflection. I'll say that. And then we're gonna generate. Oh my! Now this looks horrible. What it did here. This just ruined the map because the map wasn't designed like this. I don't even know how to look at it. Ugh. All right, and I'll go to where's Star to show off the 4-corner. It might be this blue corner that I was gonna use. No idea. Pop. Oh gosh. Well, it's not exactly perfect. It doesn't work perfectly all the time, but generally, if you're making a map from scratch and not like destroying an existing map to do this, it'll probably work much better. Much better. Because this is ugly. Can I do it on... I don't have any test maps to show it off like working better, do I? I could use this. Let's see. I could sacrifice this map very quickly to this. Doesn't look like it's working nicely. I mean, it preserves the 1 corner perfectly, but not the rest. That's kind of hilarious. Kind of half fixed the map. I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna go to dual. All right. This is all the. Now we're back into the tile tab. It's this weird slope thing. There's different like tile designs. This hole here it's used for like. If I move this here, it's on top of it. It's so like, it's mainly for like visual aesthetics. Like when the elevator brings the unit up, you won't see it popping, just clipping through the ground. that would look ugly normally. If if the tile set is large enough, it may let you scroll through pages. Canyon should be big enough. Yeah, Canyon has multiple pages of different tile designs. There's even some with functionality like the bridges, inbuilt bridges into the, excuse me, their tile set. And this should change the type of tile. Here's a corner slope, flat slope, whatever corner, other corner slope. This is a whatever the picture shows it. I don't know how to explain it. And these are the larger ones, like the ones in the chasm here. These are what these tiles are, and they're different heights. So if you're combining different tile sets, you're gonna probably be annoyed at that. But it's actually really hard to combine tile sets. Like right here, even though these two types normally connect with each other, they're not perfectly. You could really see the huge problem with that. It's like this. You can see the darkness behind it. And here's some other larger, very high, whatever you call it, high elevation. Oh, and these ones, this last final bottom row this is all like the super high tile stuff, but instead the game won't like. Let me show this. And you can't actually see the thing there, but they're there. There's no pictures for them to select, but they're there. We're gonna do this with this here. Like that bottom row. Did I even select it right? That should do it now. Like the bottom row, it's supposed to be where like it doesn't. I guess not doing it. Where it's supposed to be like an AirMech can fly and crash into this. It won't kill the AirMech, but you can't like fly over it like you would normally do. That's mostly it. Or an important tile in like every tile set is this tile here. It looks exactly like a normal, completely 100% like the rest of the normal flat tiles here, but it is different, and you do not want to mistakenly put them in the wrong place. This tile here, this here is like no nav mesh and allows the mech to fly over it. You do not want units being able to move around down in these pits per se. Like I'm gonna show off the unit nav mesh here very shortly. The one that I highlighted there is normal tile. The ones all around it will be like the special tile set for pits. And we'll see, and now you can see there's a nav mesh down there, and you do not want units to be down there, be placed down there. Alright, random, this dice here will just randomly give you a design. You can yep, watch it flip around. It's not going to give you a design you actually want. You can even do it with multiple pieces. They'll all be different, so have fun with RNG. The only time you'd really want to use the dice is like if you want to like detail like sides of an edge here, like here. They're not all gonna look ugly being the flat same thing here, because that looks atrocious. But now you can randomize it, now it looks better, cleaner. Looks like more effort, even though you just clicked one button. This will just rotate it. This goes down and up. Alternatively, you could just use like the Alt and hold Alt and just move it up and down. You'll never really want to or use or just move tiles around. Like you do not want to be moving them like that. Tiles are normally snapped to a grid. You do not want to, like, you get texture overlap here. It looks ugly. Even place it in terrible spots. Just never really attempt or try or really want to move around the tile off its grid. But you can mess with the height all you want. That'll work perfectly fine. This edging stuff here, I'm gonna have to go to a different map like Chasm, show it off better, because because the current tile set for dual, that one has a very limited, very limited. It has only one option for what I'm about to show. This is the edging type. You can click around and you can see like all the current edging that Carbon already did. I'm changing it to these different types. There's at least one type per every tile set, and this is it's like a weird painting tool-ish. You gotta like, when you select it, you gotta like move your mouse over each of these paint brushes, but if you move it over it again, it's gonna remove it. No, you have to do it the opposite direction. Yeah, that's cool. Might have fixed some bugs with it earlier. Elevation tool works somewhat similarly. I never use these tools personally because they are unreliable to me. It won't like randomly, it'll only change the elevation on places where it is allowed to, but it's not exactly perfect in my opinion. You can even change the elevation height. This is going to be high. Oh boy. Can you go on? No, you can't. Can you go? Oh boy, what does paint do? Elevation, can you decrease it? No, you can't decrease the elevation, so have fun flattening things out if you mess it up. What's paint matte do? Oh, it's gonna randomize it. Maybe I have to select something. Let me get rid of this. No idea what paint matte's doing. Oh, I see. A paint matte painted that road there, I believe. Oh, yep, it's painting this road. It looks like it's kind of unreliable-ish too. You're not completely controlling the result. Like, it's painting roads, and not like any other prop that you like. This other type of road, this gravelly road, it's not painting that unless this is supposed to do that. Let's change. Yeah, changing the type will do that, but it's not going to show you what type it is first, which is might be annoying. This could be. This will all just. How many road types there are? There'll probably be as many paint masks. Let's try mountain. Mountain has about, from the looks of it, around that number of different like designs, like road designs and that stuff. So it's a more limiting one. Whatever. This is every tile set. There's a lot of tile sets here. Just remember like the height differences on this might hurt you if you like using the same standard for every map. We're going to go into this globe tab now. Map bounds exactly what these blue, green, and probably orange box around the map is. Let's see, just slightly change this 15. Maybe can't see it. Missing tooltip, that's cool. Oh, I might need to regenerate it, which you can't see. Level Z rotation should just rotate like the box, I believe. I don't know what this auto X shadow check at Z height is. I never touched that. The camera extend minimum and camera extend maximum. I think it's this blue box. Let's try it. Let's try it. You check it today. Yeah, it's the camera is the green box, and the camera is what you like see flying around. Like you don't want to see like off into the edge into this area. That's kind of like you want to like limit what the player can see in case you have imperfections like this in your map. Map extend minimum, map extend maximum is just for like the radar mini map. You can mess with that all you want. Make sure you know the coordinates, like your mouse pointer, wherever it is on the bottom. These numbers at the bottom, bottom left, right, bottom left. But that's the XYZ coordinates in case you wanna set coordinates like that. Force box is the blue box now. You can have a maximum of 2. The 2 is always set to non-existent, because in most cases you'll only need 1 force box, as your map will be in a rectangular shape, like here on Chasm. This will just block like flying too far for your mech, or walking out too far, and your units can't go beyond this box 2. Well, in most cases. The only cases where units would be able to go out of bounds is if they have an order and there's a Nav Mesh around it, like if you connected these tiles here on Chasm. If you connect the road here, there is a chance that units would, if they were given an order, they might choose this path, which may be something you might not want, because that's just like ignoring this force box where you'd normally not want things to go beyond. There's light values. If you're interested, mess with this. This will change like the color or like the fog of the map. Like, you can change the color of the fog of this greens. I'm not gonna do it because it's like, I'm not good with the color changing. That's why they have this. This helps you, makes it easier to change the colors of everything. Like, I'm decreasing the amount of red and turning. I could either make it slightly more red. You could see it's like a little bit brighter. If I decrease it all the way, you only see green and blue. Likewise, if you change it all around, if you set them all high, it's probably going to be white, completely white, clear, diffuse, and ambient. I have no idea what I can't technically explain, but if you mess around it, there's a lot of combinations for different lightings and stuff. Ambient and diffuse without any number on it will just free for the entire map itself, while ambient 2 and diffuse 2 will be on objects, buildings, units. It'll be used for that. So if you want to make something that looks super, like this, makes it obvious. Now the entire rest of the map is super dark, while the objects, units, probably mechs, are like glowing, like super bright here. Defog, I believe. Yeah, this controls like kind of like the fog height or thickness, whatever you'd want to call it. There's tons of settings here for like colors. Any of the color stuff is red, green, blue coloring. I need to make it bright for you to see this. This controls the shadow direction. Like, I'll zoom in here and you can mess around with it, and it'll change like where the quote-unquote sun is, and it'll change where the shadow is. Z-fog. Alright, what is this? I think this is height or thickness. Again. More color sliders. You could set them up, fill out a round fit yourself if you're interested. I've never actually saved a lighting or set a lighting name. I've never done that before, so I'm just gonna glaze over it very quickly. I can't really see the effects of this, but this is probably exactly what it says. Changes the UI. I can't see that because you're not seeing the in-game UI. You're seeing the map editor UI, and it's not changing that. Oh boy, I don't know how this works. Zero idea. I never use this tab myself. It's because it's like doesn't visually do anything. Plane zones. This is mostly for use of like pits. Kill plane will be the height, which being too low and a map will start taking damage to mechs and units. You'll rarely encounter it on an official map because they're always under a transform plane, which will always make your mech transform back up out of a pit. And on official maps, they always have it higher than the kill plane, so you're always transforming before you enter, transforming back into air mode before you're sinking too low into the pit to take damage. Unless you're using Striker Sword, which when you're like slashing it, it'll just disregard transform plane altogether. Then you'll start dying in the kill plane. That's a fun fact. Map info. It's exactly something that would have been nicer to explain at the beginning, but hey, we're near the end. Now let's explain how to set a map name. Map name is currently Chasm. This is official map I loaded up. You can always name it whatever you want. Skybox, you won't be able to see this normally, but if you're in spectator mode or find some other way to look into the sky, you will see this. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll quickly go back to the map bounce tab. You see when I hit reset camera, that's actually like where the camera angle is. Like change this to 90, and now if I hit reset, it'll show you the effects. Now the chasm is long ways. Set that back to 0. We set it, and the camera of the game, what the game will be played on, will be whatever this rotation you set is. Cool. I'm gonna flip it one last time. Now let's flip the other way. Back to the map info tab now. Pre-game timer. Generally leave it -1 if you want the carbon defaults and official settings to kick in. Otherwise, you could set your own pre-game time, which is kind of like not very useful now since Carbon put in a skip button that happens. That's allowed on every single map, which you could skip the pre-game entirely. Pre-game radius is, I'll use circle location as an example to show that. What was it? 55 or something. That looks about right. Smack bang in the middle of the fortress, and this is kind of like a mini force bound. This is where the area you can move around in pre-game. You could change it to make it bigger, obviously, or super small. Make it the size of the fort, around 10. I'll show that off with this circle location. This is what 10 would look like. We're gonna make it 100 and see what 100 will look this big if you set that high. So if you want things that use like the radius, you could use a circle location to measure it. It also works. It's exactly what unit range uses too, in case you want to test that out. Game mode, if you're making a normal like map that plays out exactly like all the official maps, set it to default. If you want to make it like a map that has different ways like to end the game, go ahead and use custom, because custom disables the fort dies, game ends kind of triggers. But if you keep it on default, it'll keep that, so you could just do that. Game styles is kind of like versus is the PvP, co-op, whatever you call it, everything we have on Strike. Survival is like the mode that's on Wastelands. Patrol and Pilot are the same deal, with those being Wastelands game modes, but I don't know how to explain them. Art, this AirMech info box. This is like there's limited settings here. Let's try. I showed off on a map that I'll care to save. Oh gosh, please don't be a sucky camera. Alright, player ID is back at here again. These same numbers are being used here again. Starting location is it's one of these circles here. Buried in here is the one for 0, which is going to be me. Gonna dig it up, or try to. Yeah, it's all under the mech. Gotta use box select to move it all. Oh god, what was that? Oh no, I need to move it there, right? It's not a fun sound. Right, there it is. There's your exact location. You'll see it'll change. These two numbers would be the same because they are. Pilot, you probably won't ever have a use on Strike, and even on Wastelands, pilots aren't even in yet, and I don't even know how to use this box. AI script 2 and level, they're not that. I don't know how to use these. Even entering any number and level doesn't seem to work. But you can change your mech. Like I could force my mech to be an Alpha Striker. Oh no, I named it wrong. It's not gonna give me an Alpha Striker. Fighter A Alpha. Unless you don't have to. I believe it has to be the code name of the actual mech that is what you put in that box for it to work correctly. But you'll see me in a second, I'll be in an Alpha Striker even though I don't even own that mech. The map will just force my mech to be an Alpha Striker. Alright. Don't give me these load times. This is a completely blank map. Very quick mention of the current state of map editor right now. For some reason, people have been getting long save times, and it's been frustrating people. We're gonna test map now, and that's the end of that quick message. See, now I'm in an Alpha Striker, even though I don't own it. And the top shows that I should be a normal striker, but now I'm an Alpha Striker. You can see that I am an Alpha Striker. Back in the map editor to finish this up. The last is physics settings. Yeah, that's it. This tab is all the scripts. I somewhat touched it a little bit, mentioned it. I'm not going to go over it in this video. It's too much to go in there. If you're interested in map scripting, like making custom map survivals, special like escorts, that kind of stuff, game modes, this is where you'd wanna try going through, but I cannot explain that here in just this one video. And this is about it for this walkthrough of the map editor, I believe. And if you're interested in the map editor, or you learned something, it's pretty cool. Alright, see you guys around, I think.